the concept of oppression and the 5 faces and components that create an oppressive environment. First, let's discuss the concept of oppression. Oppression is the disadvantages and injustices that those in the minority face through daily occurrences and experiences within the dominant culture. Those in the minority are subject to suffering with either weakened or no ability at all to express and exercise their opinions and rights held back by those in power. Now, there will be guest speakers explaining each of the 5 faces of oppression and giving us insight into what an oppressive environment feels like.
Hey guys, I'm going to talk to you about exploitation today. Exploitation is the act of using people's labor to produce a profit for yourself while not compensating them fairly. Exploitation has to do with the difference between the wealth that a worker creates through their labor and the wages they get paid. Companies want to increase profits by reducing costs. One of the costs that they try to reduce, and often do reduce, is employee wages.
Throughout the 90s and early 2000s, Nike was a rapidly growing company that was criticized for the alleged use of sweatshops in less wealthy and less regulated countries. During investigations into Nike's factories, it was found that around 75 to 80% of the workers were women, and many of them were teens or in their early 20s, working 9 to 13 hours per day for 6 days per week with hourly wages of 13 to 20 cents per hour. To put this into perspective, Nike sells a single pair of shoes for $50 to $150, a shocking profit margin. Companies will delay paying these workers because they know that they will continue to work under these conditions due to the fact that they don't have any other source of income that can pay for food, shelter, family, and other things.
How's it going today? I'm going to talk about marginalization. Marginalization is the act of moving a particular group of people into a low social standing in society based on exclusionary acts of those in higher power. Often, these acts are driven by common stereotypes created in society, which act to deprive those opportunities to exercise their rights. The victims of marginalization usually tend to be older people, young people, and those with disabilities. Although these people may have the means to live a comfortable lifestyle, they are under ridicule and are oppressed solely due to inaccurate beliefs about their particular group.
Hello class, today I will be talking about powerlessness. Powerlessness is lacking the power to act when those in the minority are left helpless. The dominant group has all the control, which leaves the minority lacking the power to push back against that group. Some of the times when this happens, the minority might have far greater numbers than the dominant group, but numbers do not always equal strength. The lack of power usually leads the minority group to having lower quality of life, including poor education system, government programs, and even a lower quality health care. The feeling of powerlessness leads the minority group to feel discouraged and not fight back. As a result, they will stay powerless.
Alright guys, now I'm going to talk about cultural imperialism. Cultural imperialism is the experience of how the ideals of the dominant members of society influence the perspective of those in the minority. While the minority is seen as invisible, the dominant culture continues to stereotype other groups. The dominant group's culture and experience is seen as universal in the number.
The dominant group's culture is protected by society, and they reinforce power by demeaning those in the minority culture, influencing how they interpret and communicate. The dominant group's ideas are internalized in those of the minority, forcing them to adopt the culture and abandon their own.
So now we'll talk about the 5th and last phase of oppression, which is violence. There are many people who are affected by violence every day. In America, the groups that are most affected by violence are women, blacks, Asians, Arabs, gay men, and lesbians. Physical violence is not the only form of violence. Harassment, intimidation, and ridicule are also forms of violence aimed towards racial groups.
Violence is a threat to these groups every day, and many of them have to worry about unprovoked attacks against them, especially those who identify as gay and lesbian, where attacks have increased over the last 5 years with the legalization of gay marriage.
Thank you all so much for your insight. Now we as a class can work together and be more aware of our behaviors and work to end oppression for those in the minority.
Thank you for having us. We hope you really learned a lot about oppression and are able to apply this to your daily life. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
In your heart, baby. stand above me. Look my